Well, good morning, CyberCast IRL crew. I am so glad you have joined me this morning. As most of you might know, this is a pre recorded episode because I am in Washington, D.C., our nation's capital, for those of you that live and are U.S. citizens, that is. And I'm at ShmooCon today. I'm having a great time. Hopefully, everything's gone well. If everything has gone well, I have just landed in D.C., hopped an Uber, and made my way over to the convention center, which I believe is at the Hilton, which is about 6 miles away. I should just now be arriving there, somewhere abouts, and getting set up for ShmooCon with my friends at Anti-Siphon in Black Hills. We got a booth. We're going to have some fun. We're going to talk to some people. So if you are watching this at ShmooCon, that would be crazy. I just thought about that. It's possible that you could be, or I could be, at ShmooCon watching myself with this actual stream because it's recorded, right? Future me, jump in the time machine, Marty. It goes right to Back to the Future, right? You got to do something about your kids. My kids are, they keep life interesting, that's for sure. I love them to death, but man, they're fun. They do all sorts of fun and interesting things for me. That said, you know what we got to do? It's that time. 'Tis that time as I drop the lid. Don't care. I'm having fun. No one's in the chat. It's weird not having the chat. It is totes weird not having the chat room to play off of. So I'm just going to riff. My voice is already a little scratchy today I did a YouTube asset for Anti-Siphon and Meta CTF. A lot of fun. I had a good time doing it. Just, the vocal cords only can take so much. Can only take so much. There you go. Get it in there. A little more pour. A little more. Oh, the purple goodness. Nothing like purple drink. Today's monster of choice is Ultraviolet, which was not a great flick. For those Christian Bale fans out there, he did a movie called Equilibrium, which I love. Super fan, love Equilibrium. Oh, hold on, I got to get that tug. Oh man, that's good. Why? How do they do it? I don't know. If I did, I'd tell you, but I don't. But anywho, yeah, Equilibrium, great flick. If you haven't seen it, check it out. If you like, it's a lot of people compared it to The Matrix. It's not like The Matrix as far as like storyline or concept or anything like that, other than dystopian future. Dystopian future, spoiler alert, and there is some really cool and good fight scenes. I don't even want to spoil it for you. I want you to be like, what the heck did I just watch? That was crazy. That was insane. Give me another one, right? Ultraviolet, hence, come full circle. I'm a crazy person. What can I say? Ultraviolet was supposed to be a follow-up to that. And then it wasn't, or something. It was crazy. I was so hyped for it, and it was such a letdown. I think the only real connection that it ended up having is 2 words for you, which is let a little bit of the cat out of the bag. Gun kata. But they didn't do a kata. They just did like the same kind of fighting as what you saw in Equilibrium. Similar fighting. Equilibrium, far superior film. All right. There's enough of that for today. Let's talk cyber stuff because that's what we're here to do, right? Last time I checked, it is called CyberCast IRL. Even though today I'm like in VIRL, right? Virtual or a V, yeah, virtually in real life. I guess that'd be how that goes. What are you gonna do? I got bills to pay and a schedule to keep, and every now and then I'm gonna have to go to a con or something, and it interrupts what we're doing here. I picked Friday at 10 because I thought that's the safest time, and I've had a couple of things that have interrupted. You wouldn't think that would happen, right? But I don't care. We're sticking with it. All right, today, where do we begin? Some topics off the top of my head. First, I want to start off with hardware, not hardware hacking, but like I guess more hacking. How do we put this? Kit, right? Kit for hacking, hardware devices that are kit that you have in your kit for doing hacky stuff. I'm going to start off with this. This simple USB dongle gives you a lovely, 15 inches of extension, but things are not what they seem. This is my AirDrive keylogger. This is a keystroke logger. You plug in a keyboard to this end, and then, of course, regular USB, and it starts logging keystrokes as one thing does. The cool thing about it is it has a built-in wireless, like a Wi-Fi AP, and that's how you connect to it. So you just got it close enough to pick up the AP. You log in, and you can see all the keystrokes that it's logged via that. So you don't even have to go and grab it. You just got to get close enough to get access to that. Cool little neat piece of kit. I've enjoyed it. It's been fun. What else do I got? I got not one, but two land turtles. This is just there you go. This is just the packaging that they come in. The land turtles actually themselves are in my backpack. I keep them in my backpack. I can't believe I didn't have one out, but I just grabbed these neat little things from Hack 5. They give you the ability to like drop a shell, get VPN connection. It's neat. Basically, you just plug it into a USB port, and then you plug in their Ethernet cable, if they have one, into the back of that. And then it basically gives you access to an internal network from an external spot. It's really nice. Got a bunch of modules. You can do stuff with it. You can tunnel through it. You can use Meterpreter access through. It's neat. I like it. It's a lot of fun. What else do I got? I've got a couple of other nice, or I say nice, they're fun, right? This is a Raspberry Pi 4 that I've used for various and sundry, projects. It's been a Pi-hole. It's been a Linux machine. It's run all sorts of stuff. And then this thing right here, this is a Raspberry Pi Zero. W. It has wireless built in. I really like this thing, and this is easy to get apart here, or it's going to make me a liar. Come on, there you go. Get that top off. Because look how small this is, right? It's not even as long as my finger, right? That's 1.5 inches. Got Wi-Fi, got 2 USB ports, got a HDMI, right? Does it say what it is on the side? Of course, it's got wireless built in. I've turned this into like another. I used this one time. I turned this into kind of what the land turtle does, where I can drop it on your network, battery power it, and get shell from anywhere in the world. That was actually a lot of fun. I might revamp that project and do it again, because I haven't done it in a while, and no one's probably seen it in a hot minute. It's definitely not on my channel. So yeah, that could be a fun project. I'm thinking of things to do this year. That's why I got this kit out. That's why I got all this hardware out, because I'm like, what's some fun stuff to show? Recently, I did a video on getting UART with a bus pirate. Right there. You can go check that out. It's there. My microphone's in the way. New microphone. It's nice, right? We're getting good quality audio, hopefully. So yeah, I could turn this into a nice little drop and go, plug it into someone's network, connect it to their Wi-Fi, and then you have an insider in that network. Really cool. I think it'd be fun. Getting all sorts of fun alerts. I don't even know what that was. I don't care. Edge is telling me, oh, you're in review. I don't use Edge, so I got nothing to review. Anyway, I got all this hardware stuff out, and I wanted to beg the question of how much. I mean, I think that we're talking usefulness here. That's I'm all over the map. This is such a weird thing to record like you're here and just kind of talk to you, even though there's no single tier. I like the live stuff. That's way more fun. But like Raspberry Pis, super useful. I also have, I can reach it. There it is. The ESP32 stuff. You can do a lot of stuff with this. I've got an Arduino over there. Hardware kit. How much do you guys mess around with hardware? I think I got a Wi-Fi pineapple over there somewhere yeah, I see it. It's on a shelf underneath a bunch of junk. I don't do a ton of Wi-Fi stuff. Personally, Wi-Fi kind of bores me. I know. I'm a heretic. I'm a useless piece of garbage. How dare I speak ill of the Wi-Fi? It just is like, I mean, yeah, you take one of these things, or you just grab an old, I mean, you don't need a pineapple. You can just, for $10, go grab an access point, name it your target's name, and there you go. Evil Twin, right? You can do Evil Twin. You can do all sorts of stuff. Just set up an evil access point for stuff, and people start connecting to it, and you do bad things. By the way, don't do that. That's not what you're supposed to do, but that's what attackers do. Pen testers do it as well from time to time, if that's in scope. So unless you're doing it as the job, and even if you are doing it in the job, how often do you end up pulling out some pieces of hardware and messing with them? Like I was about to say, I can see a lot of use for something like this, or even the big boy. I don't have a Raspberry 5. It's Raspberry 4. I should get a 5. But like a land turtle, right? How much real use am I getting out of this if I'm not doing physical pen tests? How much real use am I getting out of Keystroke Logger if I'm not doing physical pen tests? I mean, think of the legal and ethical ramifications of me plugging this in at my local library, right? That could probably land me in some hot water if I would discover doing that. So that's not something I would do. It's good for demos. I could show you how to do stuff, and I probably will. I'll probably do a video on a demo of how to do this. There's a little instruction booklet that comes with it. I'm messing around with. I'll probably do. I've made a resolution for this year that I'm going to do at least one demo video per month. I've already done one on the Bus Pirate. I've got to do another one for, I think I put that out. The Bus Pirate one is meant to be my January, my January piece, right? I think I did put it out early in January, like the 3rd or something. I forget when. But I got to have one for February. I need one. So I'm looking at all this stuff. What cool stuff can I do? What kind of cool stuff can I demo and have fun with? So yeah. But other than that, unless you're doing physicals, pen tests, that is, red team operations, that kind of stuff, where you're testing physical security, and that stuff is in scope. How often are you going to pick this junk up and play with it? The OMG cables. I used to have an OMG cable. I don't think I do any. I think I did but a previous place in which I used to haunt, they did a giveaway of OMG cable. Cool kit. I mean, I like all the stuff Hack5 does. I might have like a Shark Jack running around. Again, you buy these things, you get these things, and you go, this is so cool. And then you set it on the shelf. At least I do. But because I don't do physical pen tests. That would be fun, though. You know what? That just made me think of something. Let's jump into the PC. I was at B-Sides in, I think, Orlando, and physical penetration testing course. There is a physical penetration testing course. For whatever reason, it is escaping me. And it is, there's TCM. I think, let me think. I know it's in like Tampa or St. Pete or something. Tampa, Florida. Oh, look who pops up there. Practical physical exploitation. It's anti-siphon training. They're getting some free ride. That's totally fine with me, right? Cool stuff. Where is the training course? I know there is a training course. What is the name of that course? Well, I think this might be it. Yep. Practical physical exploitation. Is this it? And tool bundle. That is a hefty price tag right there. But I mean, you're doing physical Pentest stuff. This item includes in-person training and a physical exploitation access kit. We will email you upon purchase and lock in dates. Is this in Tampa? Did it say it was in Tampa? Anyway, yep, in-person training, Tampa, Florida. This might be them. Practical physical exploitation. This might be it. Anywho, really cool, right? Tell me you wouldn't want to do that. I mean, that just seems wicked fun to me. Having some fun with that. I am not adverse to the idea that might be in my future one day. I might want to, you know what? I'm going to save up. I'm going to get that, invest in it. And that way I can explain more and better stuff to you. I know a bit about physical stuff. I've messed around with a lot of tools. I do lock picking, things of that nature, rubber ducky, you name it. I like it. It's fun. It seems like really fun. So I would definitely be open to something like that. But yeah, other than that, I got all this kit and I don't do much with it. You know, I got 2 of these land turtles. In the comments below, would one of you want one of them? I mean, like I said, for the most part, it just sits on the shelf. Maybe I should do a giveaway this year. If you guys would be excited about the possibility of winning a land turtle, let me know. If you're like, yeah, it's cool, but yeah, whatever, let me know that. But if that could be fun, right? A way to give back to you good folks. You always show up here and hang out with me, and do stuff with me, and talk with me, give me good ideas. So, yeah, that could be fun. We could do a giveaway this year and give away a land turtle. I could get rid of all sorts of stuff. Well, you know, at a time. Well, we'd have fun doing that at a time. That could be an interesting. I know it's like, Daniel, this is something most people do that you do if you're on the interwebs and you have a bit of a following, and there you are, you're following, you're enjoying the fun all here. But yeah, I've never done a giveaway. I should think about that. I should, yeah. Comment below if you think that would be a good idea. If you would be excited about winning a land turtle, let me know. If enough of you are like, yes, and you engage with the comments to let me know that's what you would like, then I will work it out. I will figure out how to do an easy giveaway. We will do it. It'll be live to do the giveaway. It'll be fun. Let me know. If not, if you're just like, whatever, if I don't get a lot, then I won't waste my time. All right, cool. So, food for thought today. Is hardware fun? Is hardware worth it? It's definitely fun to play with. I can say from experience, hardware stuff is fun to play with. I don't know how practical it is to just have sitting around, but maybe you're more interested in it. You want to play with stuff, or maybe you're getting into the physical side of things and you're like, I need a lot of that kit. There's a lot of stuff that I'm going to need. I've got an Alpha Networks wireless card running around. That is, I would say, I do believe that is a handy piece of kit right there. That Alpha Networks card has saved my bacon more times than I can count. It works with everything. It does a great job of what it does. And it's really easy to use. So I think that's a worthy endeavor. Let's see here. Moving on. What else do I got to do today? You know, again, I normally lean on you good folks out there for stuff, I say we go to the news. Let's see what's in the news, shall we? Let's see here, the hacker news, because that's where hackers get their news. That could be a fun thing to talk about. We've got the hacker news. Let's talk about maybe where do you get information? Where's a good place to go to stay on top of what's going on out there in the world? All right, I'll make this where people can see it. We've got a good update here. Oh, major vulnerability patched in SonicWall, Palo Alto, Expedition, and Aviatrix. I think that's how you say that. Controllers, I'm not familiar with them, or at least not off the top of my head. It's funny. Sometimes you go through so many things, you hear so many names that it just acts like you don't know it. And then all of a sudden someone goes blank and it keys the right thing. And then you remember, oh yes, I know them, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head for them. But we've got some issues here. What's going on? Palo Alto, that's a fun topic. How many times have you seen Fortinet, Palo Alto, and other security appliances that are meant to keep us safe, and we constantly see them having trouble? I don't think I see Palo Alto as much as things like Fortinet, but I do still see it. I told you, my voice is getting scratchy. I'm going to drink this whole thing before the show's over. Trying to keep it ready to rock. The pipes, they need it. But yeah, how many times do we see that? That's just not a crazy thing to think about, that all these things that we buy and implement to try to keep us safe ultimately can be a weak point themselves. Man, security hard, right? Doing security and doing it well is very difficult. I remember having a conversation with Don Pizzette, and he was haranguing some company. I want to say it was Apple or Microsoft or something, about not doing better security. There was some 0 day or some whatever it was, I forget. And I'm like, well, hold on, brah. They're not just sitting around going, what are you going to do? Security. They actually spend a lot of money on security. Any big organization is spending a lot of money on security. I'm not saying they're doing the best they could do, but they are doing something. And nobody's perfect. No one bats 1,000. And he was like, no, they're so big and they have so much money. There's no reason that they should have security issues. I think after we had this conversation, I think he changed his mind on that. And it does seem to make good sense, right? Apple's $1 trillion company, if I'm not mistaken. They got a lot of money. Microsoft is a huge company. How is it that we're still having security problems with their software, with their hardware? And that's because security is really hard. There's a lot of moving parts. Nothing stays the same. It's constantly changing. Never step in the same river twice, as they say. And you throw one pebble in the pond and it ripples out and affects everything in the ecosystem. And that can be the change that allows for the insecurities. Hence why we still have jobs to get into and jobs that we have that are in cybersecurity, because it's not a perfect system. It's really hard to do really well. Now, do organizations phone it in, as it were? From time to time, they sure as hell do. And even big organizations phone it in or don't do their due diligence. They have to be forced at the end of a sharp stick. Did you set good password policies? Do you have a policy on this? Do you have a policy on that? Are you setting up security controls? If you're not, pointy stick. So, that's interesting to me that they would just, some things seem so simple that they're not doing or not doing well. The fact that we would need something like government oversight to force you to do that boggles my mind. It baffles me. But hey, that's the world we live in. So going back to the idea of So we have all these things, and they can be our weak spot, even though it's ironic, I guess is the point I'm making. Oh, the irony that your firewall was the weak spot in your, and not because you set it up wrong or anything like that, but because it has software, and those softwares have that software has vulnerability. Software has vulnerabilities from time to time, and all it takes is an industrial hacker to find it. Industrious, not industrial. Get those words right. An industrious person to find that there is a flaw. Now, the good news is if we go back here, right, there have been software patches for this. And this is why we do what we do. If you're a security researcher, you're out there doing responsible disclosure, 0 days, exploit development, that kind of stuff for finding those flaws and fixing them, working with these organizations to get all this stuff fixed. Kudos, good on you, right? I hope you're making good money doing it. It sounds like a lot of fun. I've done a little bit of it, and the little bit I have done has been super fun and thrilling. Good news is these aren't like massive CVEs. So CVSS score 7.8 on a SQL injection. I always love to see SQL injection because I have mentioned it over the years from time to time. It comes up. I really enjoy SQL injection. Like it was, to me, like SQL injections were one of those things that made me go, this looks cool, this whole cybersecurity thing. How does that work? It just seemed like a ball of mystery to me. And I was like a moth to the flame. What are you, SQL injection? I don't know why I'm so drawn to you, but I am. I was. So every time I see SQL injection, it always makes me go, ha, there it is again. Still around, still doing things. And from time to time when I mention it, a couple of times I've had people in comment sections and things of that nature say, SQL injection, what is this? 1998? What is this? 2003? 05 called and said they wanted their exploit back. They wanted their vulnerability back. Okay. If that's what you think, I don't know why you would say that. You're obviously not reading the news with any kind of regularity because SQL injections happen every year and big ones. Well, there was a joke that jumped into my head there. I'm not going to go there. But right, like here it is right here again. They still exist. You still need to know how they work and that you need to look out for them because you never know. This vulnerability might enable an authenticated attacker to reveal expedition database contents such as password hashes, usernames, device configurations, device API keys, as well as create and read arbitrary files. What could you do with that? That sounds like a fun thing to chain. And here's a fun cross-site scripting. 4.7, we got some 2. Man, they were really scraping the bottom of the barrel. I mean, these are low. I mean, this is a command injection vulnerability, but it's only a 2.3. The CVSS must be super difficult to pull this off. You got to be authenticated. You do run as www data for arbitrary OS command execution, results in disclosure of, everything. Okay. I mean, I guess we could look that up, but SonicWall releases Sonic OS patches. There's an 8.2, a little higher on the Richter scale, right? 7.8, what's going on? Improper authentication vulnerability in the SSL VPN. That's not a problem. What else do we got here? Vulnerability in the Gen 7 Sonic OS cloud platform. Allows remote authenticated. So most of these look like they're authenticated, which is at least somewhat better because at least you have to have some sort of authentication to be able to pull them off. It's not just, gotcha, sucker. Man, here's one. Critical flaw. What is that? Aviatrix. I'm thinking in my mind of Silicon Valley. Aviato. This is Aviatrix, I guess. But this is a 10.0. Let's see here. The updates also come as Polish cybersecurity company Securing detailed a maximum severity. Yep. That means this is actively, I think that's what that means. A 10.0 is that it's actively being exploited. That could be exploited to obtain arbitrary code execution It affects versions 7.0 to 7.2482. The flaw, which is rooted in the fact that certain code segments in an API endpoint do not sanitize user-supplied parameters, specifically list flight destination instances and flight path connection test, has been addressed in versions. Okay, so there is an update to it. That's good. If you are running that, you need to update now. I mean, drop the phone, run to your computer, log in, update ASAFP. Right? Like this is not a joke. Do that now. Due to the improper neutralization of special elements used in OS commands, an unauthenticated attacker is able to remotely execute. Yep, that is the world's on fire. World is on fire for Aviatia, whatever it is. I mean, it's a Polish company I've never heard of. Aviatrix. World is on fire if you're using that software right there. Makes me want to go download a version of it and like attempt to exploit said issue. See if I could come up with my own exploit, use Python or something. That could be fun. Again, see, this is what we do. This is the idea machine that is CyberCast IRL. Hopefully you're getting ideas. You're having fun with it. I'm just checking how long we've been. Okay, so we're about halfway through the show. It's weird. I'm not at my regular time. This is makes me feel funny. All right, so before we got too deep in the weeds on that, I started just to go to the news to read the news, which we ended up doing. But I also had the idea of, I want to circle back to, what are some really good places that you get your news from? I'll show you some of mine, right? So Hacker News, definitely a great place to go. I also like GB Hackers. Right there, gbhackers.com. Pretty good spot, pretty good haunt. They do a fairly good job staying on top of the latest and greatest things that's happening in the cybersecurity world. So I like to read this. I will do this. We see got some Python malware going on. That is huge. I might have overblown this, but we'll see. There we go. Cybersecurity news. What do we got? Criminal IP launches real-time phishing detection tool on Microsoft Marketplace. Okay, that's cool. New PayPal phishing, abusing Microsoft 365. Domain and for sophisticated attacks. APT32 hacking group, attacking cybersecurity professionals, poisoning GitHub. Good night. Gotta love that. What are they doing? What are they poisoning in GitHub? I am wondering. I have wondered. We are looking at a malicious Southeast Asian APT group known as Ocean Lotus. Sophisticated attack. Here's the investigation by Threatbook, Research and Response Team. Here's the methodology involved in a release of Cobalt Strike exploit plugin. Oh, there was another one I heard this week about Nuclei. Like there is, it's updated. If you haven't updated Nuclei in a while, go do that. But like Nuclei has the ability through the YAML, I think through a YAML file or one of the templates, or you can create a custom template. I forget what it is now off the top of my head, but for pop, boom, nailed it, shell. Awesome. Thank you for remote access to your box, security researcher, because who's using Nuclei? Right? Rando users out there aren't spinning up Nuclei and having fun with it. It's people that are interested in security research and doing the job of Pentester, ethical hacker, red team, so on and so forth, right? And vulnerability assessments, all the fun stuff. So if a maliciously built template or YAML file, forget whatever the actual exploit was, I can't remember. You can look it up here in a second. If I get you to download and install it, I can have access to your machine. That is world on fire. World on fire, right? Let's head back. So that's interesting. So involved the release. So the attack, which was first identified in November 2024, involved the release of a Cobalt Strike exploit plugin embedded with a Trojan on GitHub. Booyah. Yeah. Yeah. Look at that. Look at that right there. A malicious.suo file. Not sure. It's a Visual Studio project. Within a Visual Studio project. I'm not familiar with this, but now I want to look up that nuclei thing. I cannot type. Nuclei exploit 2024. There you go. Signature verification bypass 2024. Is that it? 6 days ago. Yeah. Wiz. It was Wiz. That's right. Duh. They were the ones that discovered it. CVE 2024 43405. And let's see if we can read the Wiz engineering team discovered a high severity signature verification bypass and nuclei, one of the most popular open source security tools, which could potentially lead to arbitrary code execution. You see that bad. That's called bad. Es no bueno for our Spanish speaking counterparts that are listening. In our continuous effort, and then of course, totally read this article because this is the research that was done. This is where all the fun bits are. Yes, thank you, Wiz. I don't need that. Deep dive. See, they've got a whole deep dive on how nuclei works. If you've never played with nuclei before, really cool tool. Just saying. That could be a fun demo to do, right? You just play around with nuclei, templates, and things of that nature. It's simple enough to get going at it pretty quickly, but then it's got enough complexity. Like you can make it do a lot of complex stuff. So really cool, really cool. So be on the lookout for that. If you haven't updated nuclei, you should absolutely do that. So we've looked at Hacker News, we looked at GB Hackers. Another place I like to go is, let's jump in. Let's see here, securityweek.com. Right? They're pretty darn good. Like them a lot. They cover a lot of different stuff. And they break it down so you've got like, let's see if I can do this with some level of ability. Where are you at? Where are you at? There was, did they remove it? That's what I hate about this stuff. I guess it's going to be over here. They break it down like malware and threats, security operations, security research, risk management, right? CISO strategy, ICS and OT, funding, M&A, and then cybersecurity news. So like what's hot, what's going on. They got webcasts, virtual events, ICS security, cybersecurity conference. Cool. I'm gonna check that out. But I like things like malwares and threats. You can hit the news. I like ICS and OT. It's just interesting to me. So you click that, go into cyber warfare, cybercrime, data breaches, nation state stuff, ransomware, vulnerabilities is always fun. So you click on vulnerabilities. It's a great way of kind of what's new in the vulnerability world. I think that was SonicWall, right? So another good one. I like Bleeping Computer as well. Always a phenomenal stop. Was it .com? Yeah, I think that's it. Bleeping Computer, they got a lot of good, useful information when it comes to cybersecurity. Big fan. Off the top of my head, that's what I'm coming up with. Honestly, I'm gonna look at my phone. I've got a couple of bookmarks on my phone. Maybe we can find some, maybe a more esoteric thing that I go to. That's why I bookmark things, right? I don't care about that. Why is it doing this? Stop. Go there. Phone, you crazy beast, you. Okay, so get my bookmarks. Go to bookmarks. Mobile bookmarks. Let's see here. Dark reading is another one. Oh, you know what? This is a good one if you're into the red team stuff. If you're into let me make sure I get the right link for that. Yeah, this is a good one. Reddit.com. This is just it can tend to have some interesting things /r/red team sec. Bada bing. This is a good subreddit here. And if you're really into red teaming things, this can be fun. There is a talk from DEF CON 32, breaking secure web gateways for fun and profit. What else we got going on in here? Dumping lsas.exe, process memory, Windows Defender bypass. That could be fun to watch. Enjoy a sweet 2% cashback. Oh, okay, there's an ad for an Amex. Don't care. Exploiting and detecting Palo Alto, CVE 2024-0012. Cool, always fun to watch. Exploits in action, right? Check out a botnet framework I made. There's a GitHub repo for a botnet framework. What can we do with that? That could be. And then you got people asking good questions. Hopefully, this one says, after the botnet framework. I love how it always kind of like shifts everything out of the way. It doesn't focus right in the center. I don't know how to start red teaming. Some people say I should start programming with such as Python, C++, and Bash, then take a pen testing route, then take OWASP Top 10, practice it, take OSCP, then CRTP, then CRTE, and now I'm officially a red teamer, but that's not logical. I don't know why it's not logical, but I mean, it is a route. So what is the actual route that I should follow? Only red teamers answer, please. That could be a really good thread. I'm going to read this after the show. Great questions. Like I said, this subreddit can have some really interesting stuff. Maldev, ACAD questions. So if you're in Maldev Academy, which is awesome stuff, the list will reveal you more. Okay, so great stuff there. Hopefully I've given you guys a bunch of stuff that you can chew on as far as like, oh, maybe I didn't think about that. I could go that way. You're probably aware of bleeping computer. Like, I'm sure that for a lot of you, you're like, yep. Follow those, know those, all good stuff. Let me look through my bookmarks one more time. See if anything else cool jumps out. Let's see here. SecurityMagazine.com can have some interesting articles. They have a few like free things to read, but then it is a paid magazine, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. Let's see here. What's that one? Oh, that's a blog. I'm just trying to make sure that I've got. Okay, I'm going to. What is this one? Is it current? Is this one staying current? I think it's just someone's blog. There's a bunch of blogs out there. Blogs can be super useful from security researchers because then you not only get access to the news, you kind of get more of their opinion on them because you're probably a researcher and doing it. I've interacted with some people that write blogs for like AquaSec and things of that nature. Actually, even one time, it was fun. I used to do this. I was always trying to come up with ways to interact, stay interacting with my friends out there. That would be you. That's you. And I was doing this weekly CTI series where I was like looking up something in the news, researching it, exploring it, learning all about it. And then I would do an episode of weekly CTI where I explained it and tried to break it down. And I just kind of do an analysis. So I did this one. I want to say it was headcrab. And AquaSec had discovered through their honeypots the headcrab group or whatever they were. They were a malware group, and they were infecting these Redis servers, and they were doing crypto mining, and it was really interesting. So I was checking it out. I get contacted by the person that wrote the blog, telling me there's a new version of this out there. They saw the video, right? I say that the researchers from AquaSec saw the video and commented to me on LinkedIn, I think, and said, hey, did you know there's a new version of this out there? And they mention you in the code, and they put a link to your video in the code of the malware to right? So they said that's how we found your video, was we were doing malware analysis on the latest version of this malware, and we saw the link in the code to your video, and they liked it. Here's the thing. It's a weird thing to have people writing malware and running malware on other people's stuff, technically breaking the law. And a lot of the people that do that stuff, when they make money off of it, they don't do anything good with it, right? Or it goes to support all sorts of heinous and horrendous things. So I'm not flattered in any way, shape, or form that, as far as that goes. From what I understood, they were UBI proponents. They lived in a more lower economically, I don't know what the words are, in a place in the world where they didn't have much money. So they were proponents for UBI, universal basic income. And they were using their exploit and their malware to mine cryptocurrency on servers when their CPU load was low. So if it wasn't being utilized at the time, they used free CPU cycles to mine some sort of cryptocurrency to try to make some more money. It's illegal. You're not allowed to do that, but they were acting to them. They were like Robin Hood. Like, what harm are we doing, kind of thing, by utilizing your computer when you are not. That was the idea behind it. If I'm remembering correctly, that's how all that went. I do not support nor endorse nor approve of any crime. You need to get approval for that. So don't do what they did. From what I understand, though, at least it wasn't something worse, as far as I know. Could have been totally worse. That's why I say I don't care that it's that. Even if it is, that's all it was. You're not supposed to do that stuff. It's not yours. Do not take advantage. Maybe contact that organization and say, hey, can we install some software? We'll give you free, you know what I mean? You could do free maintenance. Obviously, you want the server to keep running. That's an ethical bag of bees right there that I don't really want to get into. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I'm going to get another one. The pipes, they're raspy, right? Well, that was a fun rant. Boy, we went down a rabbit hole on that one, didn't we? Anywho, the point being, I hope you have some really cool resources. If you've got some great ones, what I would love to see in the comment section, because we don't have a chat room today, is point us towards some good resources, some real diamonds in the rough, some hidden gems. That's good stuff right there. Point us to some hidden gems. For me, one of them is definitely that Reddit thread. Not that that's difficult to find, but if you're not thinking Reddit, let me go to Reddit, or let me go to blank. Let me look at this. Let me look at this blog. Let me look at that. I think of Talos. I think of Aquasec, Rhino Security Labs. They all have Mandiant. All these researchers, they have blogs. Go check out those. To me, that's the big give to you. Diamonds in the rough, hidden gems. Go to these security researcher blogs. Going to be a lot of good stuff and a lot of cool ideas in there. I think the Reddit one is like such a cool one. So hopefully, put those in the comments of what you know of. Cool. All right. We're right at almost 50 minutes. I'm losing my voice, kids. It's been a long day of talking. I got to save some more for tomorrow because or today. That's right. Future me is today. And I got to save the pipes for talking to people at the con. And I want to have enough voice to do that for them. So I'm going to call it early. This was fun. It was different. It was a little strange, honestly, trying to talk to no one that's there. If I've got something to demo and to do, it becomes easy. But if I'm just trying to have a conversation and there's no one to conversate with except the voices in my mind, then it gets a little strange. It gets a little weird. Well, there you go. CyberCast IRL, pre-recorded. First of hopefully not many, but every now and then this, I guess, is going to happen. We'll have to have good ideas. So I'll have to start an idea sheet for pre-recordings just in case I need to do something like that. Thank you, everyone, so much for joining me today. I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a great weekend. It'll be cool to see you at ShmooCon. Can't wait to come back and see you next Friday and report on some of the cool things that I saw, heard, and did during that convention. It is the last ShmooCon. Shmoo is calling it a day. They're closing the doors. So it's my first and their last ShmooCon. Will be my last as well, I guess. Until next time, everyone, keep hacking.